Play it.
Hold on, let me not get this
Full
wrong.
send.
Let me not get this wrong. I think
Stop picking your nose, you disgusting fuck. Dear God.
Okay, there we go. I think that's, there it is.
Speak of mighty gods and the iron they wielded. They were said to be so inhumanly strong that they forged a world all their own, where only the strongest and most worthy could reside. It is only through dedicating oneself to the iron path and forging your body through the painful rituals in the Iron Temple could one enter Swolehalla. Finding the world in a time that is lacking in strength and overwhelmingly riddled with weakness. Two bros have descended from Swolehalla to guide our warriors back to the path of iron. Brodin, the Allspotter, the righteous bestower of gains. Breaky, the trickster bro. Though often misunderstood, he knows that struggle begets strength. This is the Iron Theory.
Boom! Well clone.
Wetclum indeed.
Let me make sure that another one works, so next time we do it.
Just in case?
Interesting.
Oh my, what a...
Yes, bros and brolettes, Vikings and Valkyries, welcome to...
Iron Theory.
Yes, Iron Theory.
I'm Brodin.
I'm Brokey. Or Chris. You know what I should do in my social medias? I should have, like, you know how fighters will have their nickname in the middle of their name? I'm gonna do that.
I think I've already edited my name on Facebook too much. Can you bring us back to the normal screen?
Yes. Here we are, back.
There we are. There we are.
Bam.
There we are.
Hello. My fake geeks.
Welcome to the rebranded Iron Theory.
Brand new,
rebranded Iron Theory. So I was
more of the same.
More of the same. Well, the podcast doesn't change, right? The podcast is still us.
Yeah.
But as far as out of podcast, like social media presence, everything's changing now.
We're just trying to be in everybody's face.
Well, because we never really had like a branded Iron Theory social media presence or anything like that. Like this is our step into that, our expansion of it. Mm-hmm. Somebody out there, somebody's commenting in a way that we can't read.
Let
it's
me
your
run
job
it.
to go up there.
I'm the runner.
Go runner, go.
I'm the runner.
Oh God. Well, there goes on the podcast.
I love it. All film traders should use Art's voiceover.
Yes. Or my edited Dark Lord voice. Right. Yes. Yeah. Oh my God. So let's get started with what that intro is, right? So that intro is an introduction just to get us to know the names and like the bare basic overview of these characters that we are going to be playing on social media and stuff, right? You get Brodin, the righteous bestower of gains, right?
The proper... the ideal citizen, essentially, in the fitness world, yes.
The ideal bro, the helpful, the correct form, the right spot, like...
Just the ultimate.
The right way to do things.
The pinnacle.
Indeed.
Yeah.
And then there is Brokey.
The scum. The slummy, scummy, but heart's in the right place, but a lot of bro signs in his head.
Yeah. So when I'm sitting there, like, so it's hard to say, okay, are all of these ideas purely original? No.
No. I mean, is any idea purely original? I feel like most ideas carry from inspiration from other things.
So, I mean, the way we're interpreting them, right, and the way we're crafting them is definitive. They are original variations of the characters.
Right.
But obviously, it's a play on Odin and Loki.
Right, which most people, I'm assuming, are familiar, specifically through the Marvel movies. I'm sure that's where most people's heads go to when they hear those specific names, not necessarily the Norse mythologies, but that, I mean, ultimately, I mean, whatever gets you to think about that, that's the idea. Yeah.
Exactly. So there's of course Odin, right? He's the father, the all-seer with the eye.
I'm gonna get you a golden fucking eye patch.
Right, with his kids Thor and Loki,
and his eight-legged horse,
Freya, the mom. Right. In any case, right. So that's the basis of my character. And really what this all stemmed from is there is a very niche subreddit community called Swole Acceptance. And Swole Acceptance became a parody of Body Acceptance, which is that movement of like, you know, fat people acceptance and all that shit.
It's healthy at every size kind of thing.
So that subreddit was a parody of like body acceptance stuff and body positivity stuff. Yeah. So it stemmed as a parody from that, and it became like this whole... They developed this weird culture around it where they started using mythos of like different cultures, and then it became Brodin and Brokey, and Brokey's like the trickster god who tricks you into doing cardio and steals your gains and does the wrong shit. Right. And then Brodin, the all-spotter, the giver of gains, you know, keeper of the way, you know, all that kind of stuff.
That's WHEY.
Yeah, so if you ever want to like look deep into the mythos of where our characters come from, definitively
Reddit.
Swole Acceptance, just dragged straight out of Swole Acceptance. But as far as how we're interpreting it, it is definitely not the way they would do it, right? Because...
Not for the most part.
Yeah. To me, I'm definitely not taking on the full-on godlike persona of Brodin the way they have him written. Because... the whole idea, I'm incorporating sort of my ideal of still needing to grow as a bro, right? I haven't competed yet, still working towards my full competition. So this is definitively like early stages Brodin, right? Achieving my way back into Swolehalla, right? We ascended from Swolehalla.
That's right.
Now we came, the planet is in time of weakness. We have to build, let's go. Yeah.
It's like a superhero thing, but within fitness. But yeah, so I mean, with the Brokey character, it's gonna be fun to play. I think it's a fun kind of character to just kind of use as a persona, just because just being that shitty kind of, you know, douchey kind of a guy is for me, it's just fun to play. I think it's just a fun thing to do, and because I see it all the time in the gym, so I see all these. There's a lot of Brokies walking around within the gym that I'm at, and I'm sure most gyms, whoever visits gyms, you'll see these kinds of characters, right? So there's a lot of reference points for a lot of different little skits that we're gonna do. So I mean, it's gonna be fun. Yeah.
Well, so let's actually tell them like the full plan here, right? So our podcast is still going to be our podcast. It's just going to be us talking about, you know, issues and stuff.
Maybe some like different edits. I think because that song towards the end, maybe we could switch it to, you know, that little song we chose for the ending credits where we cut short and then hit that song.
Yeah.
We'll choose a different song, but anyways, maybe small little different edits, but we're still going to do the live show here on Twitch. And then Facebook and YouTube, and then that'll stream live. Ideally, it's going to be Saturdays at 4:30, so that's going to be the staying time unless we say otherwise. So you can catch us then, and then the actual podcast itself will still be distributed to all major platforms. In example of Spotify, Apple Podcasts, etc., etc. So
yeah, nothing about the podcast is changing.
Yep.
But now let's talk about the social media presence, because this is new for us, right? I just made my Instagram public.
Oh yeah, that's right. That was like, why was I able to share his shit now?
So I spent like 4 hours going through my 5 years on Instagram, deleting everything that I'm a public school teacher. So I have to be very careful about what about me is online. So I needed to delete a lot of this shit that's just like, okay, I do not want my kids knowing this about me. I do not want my kids knowing this about me. Definitely don't need my kids seeing this. So, you know, I had to be really careful about it.
Sure.
Yeah, so I'm okay with them knowing I'm a bro. That's fine.
See, when we say bro, I think it's an endearing thing, not an insult.
Yeah.
A bro is, you know, and at least in our eyes, a bro is a camaraderie kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Right.
He's a bro, dude.
He's a bro.
Like, everybody needs their bros, right?
Everybody needs their bros, brolettes, right?
Yeah. So we're expanding out, and there are 3 big pieces of content that we're really trying to work with, right? So number 1, and I think we're going to be doing this twice a week as long as our ideas don't run out.
Right.
And we already have an example of this up on our Facebook page, both of our Instagrams, and that's going to be like these Viking Norse themed inspirational pictures.
Right.
Right.
There's always something. I feel like we can literally take many things and then just tweak it. Maybe we won't even have to necessarily reference a Norse specific mythos, but we can just use that format because it just looks fucking badass. I think from a design standpoint, because social media is such a visual thing, more specifically Instagram, very visual photos, right, being uploaded. People are looking at shit with their eyes. It just stands out from the typical shit I see with a lot of these like fitness, people that are on there. So it's just different. And I think that's why it's kind of cool going down this rabbit hole specifically of just like this Norse mythology kind of a thing. Because it stands out, because it's still instructional. We're not trying to peddle BS through what we're doing as far as like the entertaining aspect, because there's actually a lot to learn as well on top of that. But this just sticks out more, I feel.
It does. And like the way we got it, right, it's like the Viking ship, and I made the sail like where the text goes. So that's kind of cool. I did some editing around with that, so it's very easy. Like that's a fully editable template, like even the text, so that's easy for us to pump out.
Simple, but it's very effective.
I like those. Like when did we post it? It was like Monday and Wednesday or something like that, where we're gonna release a new one of those.
Yeah. I mean, like it's such an easy thing because you gave me the template.
Yeah.
I could literally think of something on the fly and just like edit it. But the thing is, you use a specific font. But I think I could get that through Spark Notes.
Yeah, the font you can download. In fact, I'll just send you the font. I don't know if you can use it on your cell phone, but like this is definitely something you can get somewhere.
Because I think there was I'll edit it later. But there's some fonts on there I can use.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Or if anything, just text it to me. It's on my laptop. It's very easy for me to edit. I mean, I also have Photoshop Mobile, so I can also get it through my mobile app.
Using technology.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So the posts, right? So that's going to be being pumped out just so people have something to share, to look at, to be inspired by. So that's going to be a thing Monday and Wednesdays, I guess.
Twice a week.
Twice a week, wherever that might be then. And then our skits.
I think we decided those are going to be Fridays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's a good time.
So a Broden Brokey skit.
Yeah. So another thing that's shareable. I've been kind of tweaking around with whatchamacallit, TikTok.
Oh,
so
nice.
I'll just like re-upload it to TikTok and then just.
That's a good idea.
Just to throw it into the ethos. Somebody's
The inspiration between the Broden and Brokey skits were actually from an old series of cartoons that were in Highlights for Kids, which is like a kids magazine. I'm sure it's still around.
This is news to me.
Yeah. So Highlights for Kids, it was a kids magazine in like the 90s and early 2000s. It's kind of like Zoo Books, but it wasn't about animals, right? It's just a kids magazine, right? And it had articles and shit.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. And there was a cartoon series there called Goofus and Gallant. And it was a series about, like, right, so here's what the Goofus would do, and here's what, like, the Gallant kid would do, And it's all like, here's the wrong thing to do, here's the right thing to do. And it was, it was formative for kids, right? So kids seeing, right, like, Goofus was, like, a bully, sort of disrespectful, and then Gallant was, like, a respectful, nice kid, doing the right thing, saying thank you, please, all of that kind of stuff. So the Broden and Brokey skits really, to me, came from that. So like, okay, here's Broden doing the right thing, the way it's supposed to be done, being respectful, being kind, putting away weights, being a good bro.
Right.
And then there's Brokey, who, don't get me wrong, is still strong, right? Still in the gym, but maybe the demeanor's a little off, right? He's doing things that perhaps aren't the best, right?
Right.
The things you see at the gym, right? You go to a chain gym,
Yeah, so just, think about the last time you might have been at a gym. You might understand the gym etiquette stuff, so wiping down your equipment, putting away your weights, not destroying equipment by using it improperly. But Breaky Character is that person who would do all of those things, or not do those things specifically, and be really shitty socially. So he would be the person who would talk to you, with your headphones in, asking you questions, butting into your sets or whatever. So you understand. So that's his character archetype. Yeah.
And then you told me to make it like an old, like 80s VHS style.
Yeah, because that was inspiration from, because I think some of my influence from fitness is really in those like 80s, just like action movies and stuff like that. So I wanted a piece of that to be within these skits where it looks like a montage. So you have the VHS tape, so you pop it in or whatever, and then you have like the synthy, workout track in the background. So that was my bit from that.
By the way, I know people don't know and don't care, but getting the VHS, because I edit on Adobe Premiere, so I use professional grade editing software, right? I don't have Movie Maker or like that free shit.
Yeah.
This is something I do moonlight with, like professionally, like for my job. I mean, as a teacher, but I also, Mr. W Science, like I do video. I did work with Open Lands for their bird curriculum. Like I do video professionally as part of my job.
Mm-hmm.
So I have professional editing software. I learned how to use it from my brother, who's a videographer and editor, and getting the VHS effect is
I can't believe it's so hard.
Extraordinarily, because it's not like, on a phone where like different filters, I'm like, oh, VHS. Like, no.
Walk me through it, because I want to know what the hell you have to do.
Manually, it's insane. So you need to take the video, you need to duplicate it 3 or 4 times. You need to do an additive color dodge, because the VHS, you always had like the blue and green and the reds just a barely off center. So you get these like weird color palettes. Yeah. So you have to take one video, you have to pump up the greens, pump up the reds, pump up the blues. Now, of course, if they were perfectly aligned, it's a normal video. Yeah. Like you don't see it any different. So you need to take one video frame, move it like a handful of pixels to the left, another one a handful of pixels up, a handful of pixels right. And then you have to add grain, which is a whole nother filter that you have to add manually. And then to get the line, it's a wave warp, and then you need to animate the wave warp, so and you need to...
tedious.
Oh my god. It took me at least 45 minutes to...
Shit. I mean, is there like a save template now
yes.
that you can just do that?
Yeah. So once I got it, I'm like, okay, all I need to do is open this file format, replace the video clip, add the new video clip, because the nice thing about Adobe Premiere is that everything, because if you want to put a whole bunch of effects for like 7 different clips, instead of doing it to every single clip individually, you add what's called an adjustment layer. Okay. And anything that is below the adjustment layer applies every effect to every video under it. Okay. So I saved that, and then I can throw in any clip in the future for it.
Ah, cool.
Well, so it's not as obnoxious.
You know what I was kind of thinking? Like if you can do like
oh my god, more things.
Oh, just like in that very begin with the title and like the name of the skit or whatever. If you can take our logo and make it like, I don't know, like neon Miami Vice kind of a thing, like just like obnoxiously, pinky,
I can do it.
What's that?
I know what you mean.
Where it's like a polygon, like what do they call that shit?
Oh God!
Not polygon, but it's like
I know what you're talking about. Yeah. It was like on every like that weird perspective shift, and it was in like every single VHS. Like I know yes. So, I can do that.
So like take the logo and then just like make it like a pink and a
I know how to do it. Yeah,
that shit. So
I'm just gonna
do that.
I'm gonna tell you exactly. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna find like
neon Vikings, dude.
I'm gonna find an After Effects template.
Retro neon.
Yeah, I'm just gonna find like a retro After Effects.
It's gotta exist.
Replace it. Yeah,
because I know for a fact. So what people are seeing here,
but...
so that's another change that we did, well at least that I did.
Yeah.
For Twitch was this layout or layover or whatever the fuck they call it. on the actual stream here. So I have Streamlabs Prime, and they have a few of these layovers that are like Viking themed. So I took pieces of them and I just layered them. So there was one from this thing called Ragnarok. So for the main frame on the video, I took that piece, layered it, and then put the camera dead center so it fits in the frame. And then the other one's a Thor themed one, so you got the little animated hammer in the corner. But there was one for like the 80s retro shit that I saw on there as well. So I'm like, it probably exists in your software or whatever as like a template.
I've got
or
it.
From the website or wherever you got it.
Yeah, I'll make it work.
That'd be sick. Yep.
I do know what you're talking about. HBO had a very similar. It is a very 80s style effect. Yeah. Like it's
triangles.
It's one of those things. I mean, it's so easy to do. Like if I have to do it manually, I know how because it's like it's such an old effect. It's so easy to recreate.
Right.
But yeah, it would take me
like
a while.
Just shitty, like old, like sound effects too.
I know. Yeah, I'll do it.
Hell yeah!
I'll just at Monday at work because at this point I teach advanced placement and my advanced placement test is over. So like I have nothing to do for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
With my kids, I just give them a project. I'm like, all right, kids, you go work. Mr. W is gonna sit here doing whatever.
That'd be sick.
So
so there's that. So we have those skits and we have our motivational things. As far as future stuff, I mean, there's gonna be. I'm sure there'll be some like edits of all this stuff that we're doing now as we're just kind of going through it. Ideas are gonna pop up, but the idea I think ultimately was to just to stand out more. I feel, and then just be more involved within that social media as well.
What I would like to do, and this is definitely like an idea for the summer and maybe a little bit later, it's all like take our personas out into the real world and like shoot and like have poor like
interviews,
your poor
like,
fiance or somebody and like come out and just like literally like Brokey and Broden meal prep or Brokey and Broden go hiking, Brokey and Broden go to the park, like, Brokey and Broden
those weird like social experiments.
Yes,
where you go up to like people and you start doing some crazy shit.
We could go to like a Planet Brokey and Broden go to Planet Fitness.
You're like, oh man,
we're gonna get kicked out.
Hell yeah!
Oh my god!
Yeah, fuck it.
No, wait. Did we not? Oh no, he no longer manages Planet Fitness, doesn't he?
Oh,
we have Florian. We have a friend who used to.
Flo.
We'll see how that's going.
Yeah.
I guess.
But that'd be fun.
But I mean, entertaining.
I think we're in this. We've created this thing where ideas just kind of are just gonna splurge out of it because there's just this like bubbling thing now. This concoction that we've created, and I feel is just gonna like be just like creative stuff flowing out of this concoction. So I think we've made a nice little thing now to kind of work with.
And to be fair, like we have a backlog of content already. Like we put a lot of behind the scenes work into this. Like by the time we launched it, by the time we put everything on Facebook, and by the time we put everything up on Instagram, we've already been like we have like 6 skits already recorded. We have like 7 or 8 memes already made. Like we have a backlog. Like we've been thinking about this for a while. Oh my god, when did we actually start? Like when did we decide the Broden? My god, this must have been.
It must have been at least.
It's been a minute.
Before the new year. I mean, it's definitely it was something that we were talking about because I remember we had the conversation about how you were saying that during the summer your time is gonna free up. So it might have it might have even been like. Oh, I don't know. Probably like springtime last year, maybe. Like as we were starting the podcast, there was like some inklings of it, but it was just we were just kind of going by the seat of our pants, just kind of going through it. Did the podcast, of course, which all the episodes are up. But now it's just a bit more polished. I feel like this is going to be the polished version of what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
The evolution, so to speak.
It was intense. Like we have an actual professionally made logo by like an actual graphic artist.
Yeah.
We so it's not just me copying and pasting vectors off of Google. I'm like dumbbell vector, Control C, Control V. I'm like, okay, so it's not just me moving.
It's not like clip art.
It wasn't terrible. Like it wasn't bad.
No, it served its purpose. I think it did.
Was supposed to do.
That's what it's about. Now it's very minimalist. It gets the point across. It's a nice little unique logo with the little helmet and the barbell. So I guess we could talk about the logo a little bit.
Oh yeah.
So I went on Fiverr, and Fiverr is cool because you can contact these freelance artists, right, graphic artists. So I was looking and researching a few of them, and I found one guy who was very popular, 5-star rating. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna give this guy a shot. So I gave him pictures of logos that I wanted it to kind of emulate. You mentioned you wanted it to be like colors of like a fjord. I'm like, what the fuck is a fjord? So I Google a fjord.
Gray, white.
Yeah. So, but it looks like we had when I like did the edit of the old logo, where it was like a bluish kind of like a steel color to it, and that's kind of where the evolution of it went with this logo. And there were a few other iterations, but we went with this one. And maybe the old ones, maybe we'll like swap out or whatever, but we're sticking to this one for now. And then the runes, which is cool, because the runes add that nice little touch where it makes the name, which is very clever. So that's kind of neat. So we went with this design, and the guy just did a good job, very very fast, and he also was very detail oriented. I sent him the Gold's Gym logo because I was like, okay, it's a gym thing. I sent him the Amon Amarth logo.
Because
Amon Amarth.
If you've listened to our podcast long enough, you know Amon Amarth.
Amon Amarth, metal. Yeah.
Metal, yeah.
Yeah. The old logo, of course. What else did I send him? I sent him some other thing. I found this like fitness logo I kind of liked, so I sent him that. So it's an accumulation of that. But of course, helmet, barbell for the horns or whatever, and then you got the runes that make up Iron Theory with the name, or the colors are split, so that's kind of neat. Big fan. Hope you guys like it too.
And then to match the theme, like I tried to find the closest font possible to the runes he used on the logo, and I think I might have even found the exact same font he used. So as far as that goes, it's interesting. I think we need to address something here. We need to address some fucking bullshittery here, because it's not like we didn't know this. It's like, okay.
I was like, am I cutting this off? Is this
no.
like cut off right
now? No.
Okay.
There seems to... Okay, so... It seems as though a handful of white supremacist dipshits have been using runes and, like, fucking Viking bullshittery and this Norse shit for their, like, white supremacist bullshit.
Right.
Like, we ain't about that shit here.
Obviously.
No. Look, like, we are not going to be associated with any of that shit. If anything, if we make this bigger than that crap...
I think
we need
that's
to
what
cut
it's
that
about.
association. I don't even know where the hell that shit came from. It's not even something we think about. No. Are you fucking serious?
It's just one of those things. I was like, well, okay, because I didn't even understand that, or I didn't realize that was a thing to any extent. But I guess if you go down that rabbit hole, I guess because of Scandinavian, it's not a cultural thing. It's just because Scandinavians are white, so some uneducated white folk, I guess, that have some hate in their heart. They were like, oh, here's some symbolism, and let's just use that. So,
So,
but the culture itself, I mean, has nothing to do with that.
It's something to address here, right? Because we're not. I don't want to be accused of dog whistling,
Right.
No. Right?
Yeah, no dog
Dude,
whistling.
dear God. We're not dog whistling racism up here. That's just fucking bullshit.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So that's just something to get. I mean, it's. I'm glad you brought that up, just because it's like, in case anybody actually thinks that, then it's just not the case. We're here to educate. We're using this specific imagery essentially for strength for everybody, because the Vikings typically people will think as these very fierce warriors, and that's just kind of how we're thinking about our approach in fitness.
And that's not even stereotypical in any way. Iceland has the largest number of gyms per capita of any country in the world, right. And Iceland is not a big country. You can bike around the country in 4 days if you really want to. If you're a good enough cyclist, it's not a big place and it's not a big population, right? But there's history to it, if you look at strongman history, and if you listen to Hafthor or even Brian talk about it, early Viking competitions, just for shits, were about who can pick up the heaviest stone, the Husafell stone. In Iceland, there is culture and history to strength and working out in that specific country. Do we have any cultural ties to Iceland? No. Are we culturally appropriating? You know what? Fuck it, maybe. But go ahead and find me the one group of pagans who are super offended by us taking it, because as far as I'm concerned, it's like people being offended by taking like Greek gods. Like this is a dead religion. Like it's a dead mythos.
Right.
Right. At this point,
it signifies strength.
At this, like, I am more than happy. Like, okay, I get it. There are certain things you should not culturally appropriate, but it's like, okay, this is like, it's a Marvel movie. Like, let's
start there.
I feel like we
multi-billion-dollar.
Yeah, I'm giving myself permission to fuck with what has already been fucked with at this point. You know, it's
very. I mean, there's football teams, right? The Vikings, right?
Nobody's mad about the Vikings. Nobody, not a single person is mad about all these other sports teams with full-on caricatures of indigenous people and shit.
Right.
And like nobody's mad about it. Like I feel like this is it's safe.
Right.
This isn't cancel worthy. It's the Vikings. I'm like, oh, here's two white douches picking Vikings. I'm like, whatever. Okay, I think it's fine. It's fine. It's like,
right, exactly.
it's like St. Patty's Day in Chicago. Nobody cares. They're like, ain't none of you Irish? The fuck?
Right, exactly.
Ain't none of you. You just want an excuse to get drunk. I'm like, okay, good. Like we want an excuse to get strunk.
Right.
Okay, we're going with Vikings.
Right, exactly. So that's where our heads are at, essentially, with this whole thing. Just to clear any air up here. Yeah. So, I mean, with that being said, we're here. We're gonna do it. We're gonna be preaching our fitness here, right? And I mean, then we're gonna go from there. We're gonna see where this kind of takes us.
Suggestions, comments, complaints, drop them in the Facebook group.
Follow.
We will check it. Follow us on Instagram, Iron Theory CG. Mine is Iron Theory _AW.
I feel like I should.
You should add the underscore. Yeah,
maybe I will.
Makes more sense. Like add the underscore. Iron Theory. Search us on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. Apparently, as it turns out.
Yep. And we're on Twitch, so just make sure if you're lurking, go ahead and at least follow us. So
the more follows, the better.
Yeah, so we can grow our platform on Twitch here as well.
We've put a lot of money into more. We
put enough. Help us out, so we can keep cranking this shit out.
We don't necessarily need to make a profit. Like I don't expect to make money from this, but if I can recuperate the money we've spent, if we can recuperate the money we have spent, that'd be great.
Perfect. Yeah.
That said, I want to end this podcast now because I got my brand new Titan wagon wheels delivered to me. I thought they were going to come tomorrow because that's what it said on my phone this morning, but they're not. So at home, I'm going to train. Don't forget, Broden is competing at Great Lakes Strongest Man September 25th.
Yes.
I will be there. I am ready. I am so close to hitting competition weights.
You're going to do it.
5 pounds away on the log bar press. My deadlift,
that's like next session you're going to hit it. You know?
Ironically, the deadlift is what I'm most afraid of right now.
Well, you got the equipment now.
Because that is lagging, because it's a 500-pound deadlift for reps. I haven't even gotten close to a 500-pound deadlift in real life. But we will get there.
But it's elevated, right? It's like a...
Well, it's a 13-inch pull, so it's a rack pull, really. It's a below-the-knee rack pull for somebody my height. I will get there, but that's going to be my biggest struggle. The deadlifts is going to be my biggest struggle.
Well,
the sandbag's coming close. We're 15 pounds away from competition weight on the sandbag.
Next session.
We've been working on it. Power stairs. It's only 300 pounds to a 14-inch platform. I can sumo deadlift 315 for a bunch of reps. I'm not even training that event. Like, I'm just, okay, I might make a platform like, okay, here's 14 inches, put it up. Okay, I got it.
Genetics.
Problem solved. Yeah. We're fine. We're fine.
Awesome. Well, that's fun. So that's what he's going to do. I'm going to go take a shit.
You want to train with me? You want to come over?
Maybe.
You want to come over? You want to play with the bar?
See what the woman is doing, but it sounds fun, though. This is where we're going to end it. Thank you, guys.
Godspeed.
Follow, like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. See you guys later.
Strong.